this power comes on pretty... Basically how you're driving. So if you're driving a track, you'll see everything you've been doing on the track. On the car, it will be tight if you have, especially a second child on the other side, on the driver's side. I probably wouldn't want that.
Check, I might do it again. Enemies close, have me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up. Bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm backed up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up. Only buying car to get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another review. Alright, so this is my own personal 2021 Honda Civic Type R. It's been a while since I've done a review on my car actually, but I was too busy enjoying it, to be honest with you. This car surprised me. Now, when you're trying to buy one of these, dealers won't let you test drive it. So the only thing you really have to go off of is magazine times and other owners' opinions. With that being said, I jumped right into it, and no regrets. This car, for one, it is a Civic. It has all the practicality of a Civic. And the second part is the performance. This car will give my M3 a run for its money. And I'm not kidding you. If I put myself in this car and myself in the M3, my driver skill level, I would have a hard time shaking this car off my tail. I'm serious. This car, the engineering behind it, it masks all the front wheel drive tendencies of it. And it just sticks in the corner. I have no concerns of the limit of adhesion that this car does. Like I'll throw it at any curve, and if anything, the car will oversteer more than it will understeer. And that's a lot being said in engineering, because most front wheel drive cars have the tendency to understeer. That's just a natural characteristic of them. So the fact that when you get in that oversteer situation, you can just give it some throttle. It's got the limited slip differential, LSD up front, and it straightens right back out, and you can actually sort of balance the car in a turn and kind of direct the front end where you want it. So you kind of get that initial oversteer as you kind of turn in, and then you can just power out of the corners. And the car, there's no spinning the inside front wheel, there's no spinning it, the car just pulls right out. Now, I know the car does. I know the looks are subjective. I've had opinions of people saying how it looks like a Hot Wheels car. I had people tell me that the car looks like it's something from Fast and the Furious. And I had people tell me that it looks great, looks fun, looks like it's fast. And I had people tell me that it looks like I look like a punk driving this car. And you know what? It's probably check all those above. It's probably all those things above. But the car is designed like this for a reason. Every body panel on this car is designed for a reason. So let's get into it. 306 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. It's 0 to 60 5.1. Now the 0 to 60 time isn't what this car's goal is. This car at one point held the fastest front-wheel drive record in the Nürburgring in the world. The fastest production front-wheel drive car in the world, the record time. Now that recently was beaten by a car, I think it was a Renault or something that's not even sold here in the United States. But the fact that we are getting this car imported here from 2017 is something that, a lot of Honda owners or Honda fanboys have really liked. All right, now I love all cars. I enjoy all cars. So the fact that I even have the chance to experience this is amazing to me. The car does have its flaws, and we'll get to that shortly. So let's go over the looks. Let's go over the looks and we'll get into the car, we'll talk about it, we'll drive it. The car has functional air ducts on both sides. It pulls in air through here. Now, initially I thought these were cool the brakes, but in my research, these vents aren't exactly designed to cool the brakes. It's actually channels, and it pulls the air across the front end and down over the front tires, which acts as downforce. So at high speeds, it's gonna be more downforce. Hood scoop, same thing, it's direct more airflow down here. Now, as the air exits, it comes across, comes up, hits the rear fender, more downforce on the rear, all right? Now, let's go up top. Up top, you'll notice, as this airflow comes over the top of the fender, it goes across. That's okay, we talked about that. Now, this wing, some people think it's ridiculous. Now, this rear wing is functional. It adds downforce onto the rear end, high speed. It's functional. And by doing this, as airflow comes over the top of the car, it hits the rear wing, it smooths it out. These are little vortex generators, some things you see on airplanes. The same things, it just smooths out the airflow. So the air isn't like just swirling around doing this. It's more just coming across, and it kind of balances out. Sometimes you can see this thing kind of moving a little bit as the airflow is hitting it. Now, coming around the back of it, you got this triple exhaust. Now, the triple exhaust is functional. From what I've read, that they designed it so that center exhaust right here is designed to reduce the drone from the car. So when you're at highway speeds and you're cruising, you're along at 70 miles an hour, you don't just hear just bassy sound coming through the cabin. It just kind of quiets it down. And it makes this car livable on a day-to-day basis, because in the end, this car is a Civic. And it's you have everything in the practicality of the Civic, but you have it in this racy package. If you're considering buying one of these and you can't get a test drive and you're thinking you would like it, you just don't know if you're gonna like it or not, I can confidently say you will like it. People told me that and I didn't think I would believe them. I said, no, I gotta drive it myself, and luckily I was able to find a used one at a CarMax dealer, which they let me test drive. And from that point on, I was hooked. I was on the hunt, and I looked for one for a while. And I have another whole nother video talking about that. I'll put the card up here so you can see it, of my journey of trying to obtain one of these with the dealer markups and such. Now you look at the round of the front wheels. You'll see here you got these 20-inch wheels. Actually, both front and rear are 20-inch. But you'll look around and you'll see here, look at this. And you have a 4-piston Brembo brake set up front. Brakes are adequate. I never felt like they were needed anymore. Again, I've never tracked this car, so I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what I've been expecting, but Brembo brakes up front, 4-piston. And then you got a single piston in the rear. Nothing special about it, but it is painted red to match the front. Now the tires, it is a 30 series tire. People have said that they don't like them because of the small sidewall. If you look, the sidewall isn't that, it's very thin. However, I love the way it looks. I love the way it fills in that gap. It fills that wheel gap in perfectly, in my honest opinion. And just look how this Boost Blue pearl pops in the sunlight. All right, now excuse me, this car does have a clear bra on it right here, so that's what that little line. But you can see at this light angle how it just pops out. And this car can, right now it looks very, I would say, like bright, like almost Play-Doh right now. But that's honestly because I'm in bright sunlight. Now this car changes depending on, like I said, if it's sunset, if it's in the morning time, and it could get more vibrant. It has deeper hues. I love this color. I get lots of compliments on it. This is a touring model, so you get all the touring hues. So you get the LED headlights, you get some other things in here, the LED turn signals and the other things that the touring model has, but you're missing some features such as the auto dimming rear mirror. You don't get the rain sensing wipers, you don't get the heated seats, you don't get some of those other touring features that you may come to find in, like, say, like a sport touring or, you know, a sedan. You're gonna see also lots of copycats out there. There's gonna be lots of Civics. They're gonna put that spoiler on their Type R, or sorry, that Type R spoiler on their Sport or LX, but nothing is going to mimic the real thing. A spoiler alone is not going to look like this. You'll know a real Type R from a fake Type R. And just look at that fender right there. Look how that sticks out. From that angle, you're seeing just how aggressive this car looks. And the video is going to do this car justice, because I saw plenty of videos on this car before I even got close to one. What did it for me was seeing one in person and seeing how wide it was, how aggressive it looked. I was truly impressed with everything, and I've come to really like the car and appreciate it. You got the LED headlights up front, LED fog lights. Got the Honda badge up here is red for race, obviously. Every Honda badge in the car is red. You got the Type R badge right there in the corner of the grill. And I've seen that too. I've seen people put red Honda badges on their SIs and 9Rs, and that's okay. You know, do that's to each your own. But here, I think just this is where it's at right here, and I see where the hype is. Forget like the 0-60 time. Forget like the quarter mile time. This car track is where it is. If you want to track your car, this is a car. This is a car that you can track and you can take it home and then take your family out to a park the next day without doing anything else. All right, so we have the 2-liter turbocharge. This is turbocharged inline-4 VTEC turbo, and this is the Earth Dreams technology Civic. And this engine is sort of what you find in the Accord, but this engine is exclusive to the Type R because it just has a little more power. It's got the exclusive to the Type R. Now this makes 306 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. Now this power comes on pretty easily. I would say your peak engine power is going to be reached at around just over 2,000 RPM. So I think it's 2,500 to be exact. I'll link it in here in the description. I'll do everything on the specs. And your peak horsepower is peaked out at 6,500. And your red line is around 7,000. So you're getting power pretty much all the way through your rev band. This car does run on premium. It is a recommended premium. So what that means is you don't have to fill it up with premium, but is highly recommended. So if you're, like I said, you know, those pinches of time where you need to put regular in it, it's not going to hurt the car. The car is just going to detune itself automatically. So you won't get that full 300 horsepower on regular. 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds. It's the cornering, as like I said, the acceleration time, ignore that, because you're gonna be like, wait a minute, Subaru WRX and get this. Forget that. Forget what your Mustangs and all that stuff can do. This car's strong point is its cornering, and it's a perfect balance between a high power front wheel drive car and great handling. I don't want to see 400 horsepower in this car, because at that point it becomes a one-trick pony. Honda has got it right, and they got this thing dialed in perfectly. All right, so getting to the car, I have my key. It is a smart key system. It has obviously a lock and unlock, trunk button, panic. You get the red Honda badge here to kind of match everything else on the car, because it is the Type R. So that's one thing that the Type R does have over any other Honda, is the red badge. And this is just, I like how they did this final touch here on the key. So I can get in the car by pressing that, or since it's got the comfort access system or the smart key system, I can just hand it here, unlocks the car, lock it, just press this button. Okay, get a second here. All right, let's get inside. Inside here, you're gonna see some faux carbon fiber treatments that goes across the doors and the dashboard. On the 20, I don't know what year they did, but this also has Alcantara on the armrest. That's all over the car. Seems like there's on the door cards. Down here, you can see, just look at the seat. Look how aggressive this seat is. This seat is just, it looks like something just ready to race. It is a manual seat, so don't expect power seat, anything here. You got your driver assistance function, so if you have a 2020 or newer, you're gonna have forward collision warning, you're gonna have lane departure warning, and you're gonna have adaptive cruise control. Lane keep assist. Alcantara steering wheels also for 2020. This is an Alcantara wheel, and then your shift boot is in Alcantara as well. This is what I was talking about, the shifter. It's got a teardrop shape from the S2000. 90-gram counterweight to help with the shifting. Short throws. You have Alcantara up down here. And I did, since I didn't get an auto dim rearview mirror, I did add that myself. So I put my own, this is a Honda mirror. It is made for the Civic, and it was a plug and play system. I did install, basically I ran the switch out mode mirror, ran the cord across, and it plugged in somewhere in here. Okay, I have a video on that. I could link that in my description. The car does have automatic headlights. They're fully automatic, so what that means is when your wipers are on and these lights are in auto, it'll automatically turn your headlights on. The car has obviously push button start. You got your Apple CarPlay. You have, I want to say Android Auto. You got automatic climate control. So let's turn the car on. Okay, so apologize.
GPS connected.
Radar detector. So I got 8,000, just over 8,000 miles in this car. I bought it brand new, and I bought it probably a few months ago, and I've been driving it, and this car has just been a blast to drive. So going here to the steering wheel, you have your certain buttons. You have obviously your phone, got voice activation things. On this side, you have your lane keep assist options. So if we want to scroll and see, right now I'm on the shift light setting, so hitting information and going across with these arrows. You'll see here, press information. I can look at the G meter. I can do a timer. I can check my fuel mileage. Right now I'm probably not getting that great. 26 mile per gallon, not too bad considering this car is rated at 28 on the highway, and I get about sometimes 30 if I'm really going slow, but my real world mile per gallon is about 25 to 26 mile per gallon. Got your compass, maintenance. I just had an oil change, so it should be 100%. Yes. Music, information. If you want to change it to kilometers, you can do that. Look at this one. Throttle and brake position sensor. So if pressing the brake pedal, you can see if I stand on the brake, you can see how much pressure there is. Also gas pedal. So you see that percentage. Here, turbocharger. You can see with the turbo. And this boost gauge, I compared it to, hooked up to an OBDII to see what the real boost was getting. And surprisingly, it was pretty accurate. This car technically peaks out about 19 PSI, and that's pretty much what I was reading on my scanner. Coming over here to the climate control, you got automatic climate control. You have this dual zone, so the passenger just have their own climate control. You have navigation, is touchscreen. Navigation isn't that impressive. I think it's a good backup system, but if I had my choice, I just plug in, use my phone, use Apple CarPlay instead. But like I said, your phone sometimes is not always on you, or the battery dies, or not getting the signal, so the map is always good to have. It's a 540 watt sound system. Sounds okay. Not, I wouldn't say it's like Harman Kardon level or Bang & Olufsen or anything like that, like Bose, but I would say it's acceptable and it's adequate. Going up here, just one cool trick you can do with this. I'm gonna plug my phone into the car. Alright, so I'm gonna start Apple CarPlay. I'm gonna pull that up now. Alright, so I have Apple CarPlay. I'm gonna go over to here. You got this app called Honda Log R. So you download the app on your phone and you'll be able to see. So hit Honda Log R, and it's a Type R exclusive app. Agree, and there you go. You got your vitals. You got your water temperature, your oil temperature, oil pressure, atmospheric pressure, intake, air temperature, gear position. Let's see if I put it first. Probably won't do it. Once you pull it off, it'll show you gear position. And this little animation sort of pitches and rolls with your car, and you get a score on your phone to tell you basically how you're driving. So if you're driving a track, you'll see everything you've been doing on the track. On this side, you got a G meter, and you can see that, and it tells you obviously which mode you're in depending on which modes. So since we're on the modes, let's go over here in the modes and tell you what we have. The car always starts off in sport mode. So great, you don't have to flip into sport like some cars always default in comfort or your efficient setting. This car always defaults in sport, is always ready to go. So if you need to go down, dial down to comfort, you go to comfort mode. A few things happen in comfort mode. The steering wheel lightens up, throttle gets a little softer, just less. I felt the car doesn't get in the boost as easy. Even driving on the highway, it seems like it stays more in vacuum. Sport mode seems, in the suspension obviously, gets a little more compliant. Sport mode, then into the gauges here turn white. Now if I go to sport mode, you get a red light that goes across the top. Sport mode tightens the suspension. Steering wheel gets tightened, throttle gets sharpened. Okay, and you have one more mode above that one. It's called plus R. So by going up to plus R, now I'm in plus R mode. And you see a difference when I went from sport plus R. Now the RPM band got turned red. The little red bar across the top even got deeper. The car gets more and more racy as we change our modes. Even the fuel gauge, if that focus on there, how the little bands around the fuel gauge and the temperature gauge, they turn red. R mode, I would say reserved for track or some spirited driving. The power is very peaky. It feels like it's on as soon as you touch the gas pedal. The steering wheel is super direct. I feel like I am ready for the track just from one mode. The artificial sound coming through the cabin, because this car does have some artificial sound coming through, gets even louder. And the car overall just changes its character from being a comfort mode where it's just a regular Civic to now it's in this aggressive, and he's showing you, hey, this is the Type R. Now this car has built-in rev matching too, and all those things. Also 2020 and up, you get the heated rear mirrors. You got your brake hold here. So by pressing this button, you can, well, let me do it now, but pressing this button, each time you get a stoplight, you don't have to hold the brake. The car will hold the brake for you. And just by resuming it, you just hit the gas pedal, engage the clutch, and pull away like normal, and the car resume. Electronic parking brake. And each Type R gets a exclusive placard on there right behind their shifter and their individual R number. So you'll see people talk about the R numbers. This is a number, it's almost your serial number of your car. Just one more step that this car has, that just exclusivity of having your serial number right there as a placard. Glove box, I would like to see a damped glove box, but it's not. It is not good there. Cup holders. You have a certain setup with the cup holders. So you can do, this is your basic cup holder. It's got two cup holders set up here. You have a little coin tray or whatever, miscellaneous tray. You can flip this up. You have storage here. I can go room out a few other things. It's pretty deep in here too. This can slide out the way if you need it. and you expose another cup holder with a USB. It's like a USB-A outlet. And this cup holder here, when it's in this mode, can support my 40-ounce hydro flask. Going up top, you just got your basic reading lights. Nothing else in here that it's different. You got your vanity here with the light, the double vanity, just, you know, so your significant other, you know, wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend can have their own little vanity. No sunroof in the Type R, so don't expect one. There's not one, and there's an option. And here's the view at the back. The spoiler I thought would be in the way, but the spoiler actually is just high enough I don't see it in the rearview mirror. Now you're looking here and you can say, wow, these seats look really aggressive, and they feel as aggressive as they look. But the minute you sit in this car, you get into it and you're looking around and you're, wow, this is very familiar. When you get into a Honda, it feels comfortable, it feels familiar. You know where your controls are. You have the view of the road. Honda is very good at showing you having the windshield real low, dashboard sort of lower so you can see across the hood. Everything is just comfortable. You feel very snug sitting in this car. All right, back seat. Now I'm sitting behind my normal driving position, which is here. I have the seat in front of me. I have a lot of room. The seat isn't ridiculously pitched up. I'm sitting very comfortable in here. I have plenty of headroom. Like I said, I'm 5'8", plenty of headroom. I wouldn't mind sitting here for, you know, a couple hours or so. The one thing that this car doesn't have is rear air vents, which would be sort of, I will want that, especially having kids and things, you know, help cool the car, the cabin down a little bit quicker. But if you want it to one sports car and you say, you know what, I want to be able to put a child seat in here, it should be no problem. But yeah, you get two cup holders. This car only seats 4, so that's the difference with this being very like racy. It's only seats 4. You have 2 cup holders here in the middle. All right. Also, all the seat belts, even back here, are red. Okay. Now, here's a convertible car seat. So if you have a little one, you can kind of see where it is. Obviously, I didn't strap the car seat in just yet. Probably won't do it just for this video, but you can see how it looks, how much room there is between the front and back seat. So this is the convertible. There's a lower tank, there's a latch down here, tether, right over the seat. You got one on each side. Since this car is a 4-seater, there is no middle seat available. Okay, here it is with the seat facing rear. You can see how much room it is touching the front seat. It is tight. If I were to sit in the front, and I'm 5'8", just so you get an idea, my knees are almost touching the dashboard. Now I can probably sit like this for a little bit. Actually, it's not terrible, but just beware, you're not gonna have all your leg room. If you like someone who bunch of leg room, I would probably look into probably an Accord. But tolerable. I think if you know you have a family and this is your, you know, you need something to put your kids in here temporarily, or just for, you know, those picking up from daycare, maybe that extra person, it's doable. Family car, it will be tight if you have especially a second child on the other side, on the driver's side. I probably wouldn't want that. Practicality. Look what this car does. Open hatch. Got a little slide across cover. Now limited edition doesn't get this cover, but you get a privacy cover there if you need it. We're going to do a test here, see what the maximum this car can hold, just like we do for all our videos. Also inside here you have your spare tire. Sorry, actually no. This is, yeah, spare tire, maybe something. A flag. You had your funnel because it's a capless fuel system. Yep, so jack looks like 4K LED TV. This is a 43-inch. If I were to go, this is the wings open. This could easily handle probably a good 55, maybe 60-inch television in this back seat. And now, what I'm describing is this car can behave like a normal Civic. It's quiet, it's smooth. Is sort of compliant. Someday I'm gonna go to sport mode. I got a little roundabout coming up here. And let's just show you guys about 50 miles an hour so far. Got the rev match. Go in. Brakes. Felt like I could have did a little faster, but that's just one of the great characteristics about the Type R is you can go faster, sure, but on a street, I think this car, you're not going to reach the limits on a street. You really won't. So got a few bumps. I'm in sport mode right now. Vibrating, so I don't know if the stabilization is going to work. Of course, Honda, you would go this way. Okay, come on. Thank you. Let's do 0 to 60 real quick.